Hello, and welcome back to the Nobody Show. Yes, it is me. It is I. I'm back. I feel like every new video I put out, I'm always saying, like, oh, I'm back, guys, or hey, how's it going? I guess I'm always seem to be taking breaks from it, unwanted breaks, too. Life's just gotten really out of hand lately. It's been super busy with school starting back up, and then midterms are coming up here pretty soon, as well as just working and, trying to find hours and balance out homework and all kinds of other stuff. But hey, I managed to find the time, and I didn't have anything to do today, so I told myself, hey, I'm gonna set out today to record it. This will be recorded Friday, and it'll be up Saturday morning. So if you're watching this in the morning, good Saturday morning. If you're watching it in the afternoon, good afternoon. And if you're watching in the evening, well, good evening. Good morning, good evening, and good night. Let's see how many of you get that reference. Anyway, so welcome back, everybody. First and foremost, how are you guys? How are you guys doing? Are you guys okay? Is everything going really well? How's life essentially? I know these past couple weeks have been kind of rough. Not only as people, but I know countrywide there's been certain things that have been happening. So just wanted to make sure everybody's doing all right. I want to make sure everyone is doing okay personally. And hopefully that every endeavor that you're doing right now, or anything you're trying to accomplish, hopefully, as long as it's good and within range of what you can do, hopefully you're able to accomplish that. And I wholeheartedly believe that you can. So don't ever let anybody tell you can't do it, because you can do whatever the hell you want to do, as long as you put your mind to it and you put some positivity, drive, and attitude into that mindset. You will accomplish anything you set out to achieve. Anyway, let's get started, shall we? By the title of this, it seems like a real vast array of ideas and different things to talk about. Just a giant conglomerate of just weird stuff like Going Home, Compassion, Black Panther. But weirdly, it's very fitting. So anyway, let's start off with Going Home. So was it last weekend? I believe it was last weekend. This is the weekend of the 24th. So yeah, I think it was last weekend already. Wow, time flies by. I went home, actually. I went home to Chicago for 4 days, and I intended to do a podcast out there, actually, from my phone, or just record one at the airport. I thought, hey, an airport one would be great, but at the same time, I'm just like, that's a terrible idea, because airports are loud, and there's lots of screaming children, and they're always, flight 455, you're boarding the Southwest. It's just, yeah, no. So, and then I just got really busy at home. I was only there for 4 days. I was there to see my family and just kind of hang out with them and celebrate the birthday of my girlfriend. It was on Monday the 19th, so happy birthday to you, babe, again. But it was a great time. Just kind of getting everything prepared to go on a move. I'm moving sometime in the near future, just not far, just another town that's about an hour away. But just getting prepared with all my things up there back home, and my brother, my best friend, who's also, well, I call him my brother, but it is my girlfriend's literal brother. He's just a really, really, really close friend of mine, my best friend, so I just consider him my brother. He's coming in to move with us, so just getting everything finalized with that, making sure we're all on the same page, and saying hello to everybody. And it was a really, really good 4 days. I really enjoyed it. I got in, oh my God, I had to leave from where I'm at, which is in Waco, Texas. I left here at 2:00 in the morning, actually, to drive to Dallas Airport, which is like an hour and a half away. I got to the airport around like 3:30, 3:40, 4-ish, and the airport wasn't even open yet. Like, there was nobody behind the desks. Security wasn't even going. It was just so early, and I barely got any sleep because I was just so anxious. And so I got through security check. And we got in, a flight left at 6, and it just flew by, just waiting there. Got some breakfast in us, and we were on the plane. Like, we were just like, holy crap, the time just flies. And we got there at 8, and I didn't get home till 10. And that whole day was just spent just on the go. I was with my family. I got to meet my newborn niece, which was wonderful. So she's, oh my God, she's a cutie. She's a little cute potato, but because she's a newborn, but she's definitely adorable. And me and my family as well as my girlfriend and my best friend Josh and my girlfriend Hannah. I don't know why I just didn't say their first names. We and my family as well. We all went to Portillo's out there. So if you're from the Chicago area, that's like a must all the time. So I've missed Portillo's for God knows how long. So that was like the first place I really wanted to go. So I went there, saw Black Panther that night, and then the next day, I had my girlfriend's birthday party, and I was gonna go see some friends. We just hung out with family again. Then Sunday, hung out with family all over again, and we went out to Chicago area and hung out and spent just a whole day as a family. And then Monday was just spent running around and getting packed and, making sure everything's okay and driving back to the airport, which took forever because Chicago traffic sucks. But it was a really, really good weekend. I really enjoyed it. And it was just nice to be able to spend it with family because I know, in the springtime, at least for me, excuse me, that, it gets really overbearing with a lot of things you can do. You're kind of just stuck in the middle in this rut because I feel like when summer comes around, you're so great and you're just riding that high all the way into fall, and fall is fine, and still riding those good feelings on into winter, which can get, into the, deep, dark, and depressing times for some people because there's always no sun sometimes, and, it's just dark out, and it's always cold, and or it's raining, and you're always inside, and you can't really do much, and, so to come out of that into spring, I feel like people are just waiting for it to warm back up so they can go do more stuff, but toward the end of winter, springish time, and then in between period, it's just spent like, well, I'm stuck in the middle right now off of winter into this kind of crappier spring where it's just going to rain a lot. So it's just going to suck. So that's kind of where I've been lately, as well as with school, preparing for, midterms and stuff, just getting into that really busy period. So going away for a weekend was definitely something that I needed. It was something that I think helped me a lot when I came back. It gave me a jolt of positivity, a jolt of drive to get things done, and kind of lit that fire up my ass to, do what I needed to do, and gave me that jolt and sense of positivity back, and made me feel really, really confident in all the endeavors I've been set out to do. But anyway, so yeah, that was a home vacation that I went on recently. It was pretty great. Everything kind of in this podcast is just a conglomerate of things I experienced in those 4 days while I was at home. So I'm glad I finally get to talk about it. But anyway, so to branch off that, let's move into Black Panther. No spoilers for anybody that's seen it. I know like a handful of people are probably going to watch this, but no spoilers for those of you that have seen it. I am thinking about putting up a review, just what I thought about it, that will be spoiler heavy. We'll see. We'll see if I get to it. But in the meantime, it's just my little review of it. I'm only going to spend a little bit of time of it, not give any spoilers. I'm going to try my best. Anyway, I thought the movie was fantastic. I really did. There's some people that I've met or I know, looking at you, Mr. Tillman, that don't don't appreciate it or don't like it. And I get it. If it's like how do I put it? If you don't like any Marvel movies, I understand. You're probably like, oh, I'm not gonna like this either. Blah blah blah. But I really enjoyed Black Panther. It stands alone outside of the Marvel universe by itself, and it's nothing. It has to do nothing with the inside conglomerate of what's going on in any of the whole cohesive Marvel storyline, and I really enjoyed that. I liked that it was very self-aware and just about Black Panther and Wakanda itself. The acting was phenomenal in the movie. Everybody made a wonderful part. That movie wouldn't be what it is if it wasn't for just the ensemble that was a part of it. Everybody did a great job playing who their assigned roles were. And I mean, T'Challa is Black Panther, and he's great. He's great in Civil War when he gets introduced. He's great in Black Panther, the whole movie. But he wouldn't be as highlighted, and that movie wouldn't be as good if it wasn't for the cast that was with him. And they really knocked it out of the park. They did a bang-up job on that movie, and kudos to Ryan Coogler, who directed Creed and Fruitvale Station as well, for directing that movie and just tackling it. CGI was kind of a... It was okay. I mean, there was a lot of things that they had to do that were CGI heavy. So I understand that everything is not going to be perfect, and that's okay. I get that. I mean, it's a comic book movie. I don't expect it to look real. However, it's getting to that place now in movies. I call it the uncanny valley, where you're starting to see that meld of like, is this real? Is this not? Because obviously Wakanda is a fake place, and there's a lot of things in that movie that are fake. CGI, I would say. Should say, sorry, but some things you look at and you're like, this looks really, really good for being a CGI, and some of the things you can still tell it's a little bit of a oh, okay, this isn't real, but it's getting close. And it's crazy how close it's being able to get. I mean, even de-aging people, making them look younger. I mean, you can still see that it's not real. That person doesn't look like that. But I mean, if it's in quick snippets or just scenes, it's getting to that point where it's like, oh my god, that's kind of scary. Actually, I think the best one I've seen so far is what's his name at the beginning of Ant-Man, Hank Pym. Oh my god, I can't remember the actor's name who plays him. But anyway, they de-age him at the beginning of the movie, the beginning of Ant-Man, and he looks great. Like when he first came on screen, I remember when I saw that movie, I'm like, he's not that young. I don't remember. It just totally took me for a whirl. But anyway, what's his name? God, I can't remember. Michael Douglas. There you go, Michael Douglas. It's bugging me. But yeah, Black Panther was really good, and I would argue it's one of the best, if not contender for the best Marvel movie so far. This is my personal opinion. I mean, you have Civil War, which is up there. You have Winter Soldier, which is up there. And I mean, I'd be remiss if I didn't put First Avenger as just one of the best. I mean, the whole Captain America trilogy has been fantastic, but that's another topic for a later day. But I mean, I would argue, the first Guardians is up there, Winter Soldier, Civil War, and now Black Panther, part of that pantheon of the great Marvel movies. It's really, really good. I think right now it's got like a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know the cinema score or the IMDb score. I can look it up really quick, but I loved it. Every character has a great motivation. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I'm just looking up the cinema score for Black Panther. But every character has a great motivation. Killmonger and Claw, who play the villains, are super great in the way that they portray the characters. Killmonger especially is amazing. Michael B. Jordan did a smash, just bang up job, smashed it out of the park. Like it was fantastic. In the way that he played Killmonger. And just having a well-developed characters, a well-developed villain, and having them have motivations and being fleshed out is really good. So right now, like I said, Black Panther sitting at 97% on the tomato meter, Rotten Tomatoes, 77% audience score, which is fairly good for Rotten Tomatoes. For the IMDb score, for those of you that do use IMDb, it's got a 7.9 out of 10, so I would just round up to 8. A Metascore, it's got an 88, so it's doing really well across the board. It's just hitting everything out of the park, and for its box office opening weekend, grossed over $200 million. I think that makes it like the 5th largest opening box office movie ever. If I'm not mistaken, it's 5th. I think it is. I'm looking it up right now on Box Office Mojo. So yeah, number 1, you got Force Awakens. 2, you got The Last Jedi. 3, you got Jurassic World. 4, the first Avengers. And then right after that is Black Panther. So that's just crazy that just a solo debut film for a Marvel hero, let alone Black Panther, is just sitting at number 5 and a biggest box office opening of all time. That just, to me, that's insane to open with that. And it's only going to make more money, It's crazy to me when these movies open with such big box office numbers, because it's only going to make more. But to round out the rest of the top 10, number 6, you got Age of Ultron. Number 7 is Civil War. Number 8 is Beauty and the Beast from 2017, the live action. Number 9 is Iron Man 3, and number 10 is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. It's crazy to me that Disney's just dominating like the box office. Like, I mean, you figure, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 10 movies on this list of the top 10 are all Disney films or are Disney owned. Like, you got Star Wars, you have Marvel. The only one, Beauty and the Beast, the only ones that aren't is Harry Potter and Jurassic World, and that's crazy. But yeah, Black Panther was great. If you haven't seen it, I would go out and see it. It's a fantastic movie. If you haven't listened to the soundtrack either, that's produced by Kendrick Lamar, I would argue one of today's, if not today's, best rapper. Is wonderful, and the album itself is great. The lyrics are great. They meld together like people you wouldn't expect to be on a hip hop album, or just beats you wouldn't expect to be on there, and they just mesh it so well together. It's wonderful. So if you haven't checked those things out, go check them out. I mean, even if you have checked them out, check them out again because they're great. But anyway, moving on. Let's move on to TMNT. I know I got it up there too. TMNT is just something I wanted to cover briefly. Essentially, the only reason why I wanted to cover it is because when I was home, I have Injustice 2. I'm an unabashed lover of that game. It's wonderful. Shout out to NetherRealm. But over that weekend, I think the Tuesday before, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles dropped for the people who have like the deluxe, definitive, whatever, like the most expensive steelbook, make all your dreams come true edition. And it came out that day for those people. And I thought when the Turtles debuted, in the trailer, the reveal trailer, I thought it was just going to be one turtle, and then the power was going to be you can switch through all four. But I was really surprised and taken back in a very great way to find out that it was actually all four turtles. So essentially, we just got four more characters into the game. I mean, granted, they're all the Ninja Turtles, but I mean, there's four separate turtles. It's just four additional characters, and that's awesome. And they play, and they play like who they are. Their attitude is like who they are, and it's wonderful because as a conglomerate, they come together just like the Turtles, but separately their personalities are exactly how they are like in the comics. I mean, not in the comics, like how everyone knows the Turtles, not the black and white comics before the predecessor to that. But Leonardo's depicted as a leader. The ninja, so to speak. I know his opening is he's meditating and he's very confident in his game, his gameplay and his dialogue, and his power is he uses his other brothers. They come in and they help him out throughout the battle because he is the leader of the Turtles. And then you got Raph, who basically is like that brawler, counter close in your face character, and his power is like he like pisses himself off, he like amps himself up, and it just ups his damage crazy, and it just kicks ass. Donatello is the biggest surprise for me, in my opinion, because I would expect like Leonardo to be overpowered or really good, or Michelangelo to be overpowered and really good, but Donatello surprisingly is really good, and actually like one of my most favorite ones to play. Surprisingly, and I'm a Leonardo fan. I mean, I'm a whole Turtle fan, but I like Leonardo the best. And Donatello is just crazy. It's stupid good. Like his power is he throws a device on the ground because he's the sciencey nerd, where you can't jump. I think if it lands on you, you can't move, or it draws you in closer depending on which one you have. And his bow staff combos are just insane. They deal so much damage, and he's a great character to play for the mid ground and the far ground, because he's really useful when it comes to distancing in your opponents, like bringing them in but also pushing them out. So if you're close, he can punish you really hard, but if you're out really far, he has his ways of bringing you in very quickly, which is really surprising for Donnie, but I really, really enjoy his gameplay, and he's just really good to play as. Next is Michelangelo, who I think is the most fun to play in my opinion. I mean, it's first of all, it's Michelangelo, so how can it not be? Second, he's just he all the turtles, mind you, talk crap the whole match, but Michelangelo probably talks like the most crap. And his move is he brings in a skateboard and he can launch it at you, or just travel across the screen fast, and it's quick, and that thing comes at you fast. But the way I describe him is like the Maxi from Soul Calibur of injustice, because he has just a nunchuck theory that he does, and it just, oh my god, that thing, first of all, it deals a crap ton of damage, and it's just fast. Like, it's so quick, and it just hits you and boom. And if you land those combos, oh my god, you'll wreck anybody. And he's the very close encounter, kind of character, which is really cool. So I'm still playing the Turtles. I've been playing a little bit of other games lately, but I've been dabbling here and there on the Turtles. So it's been a lot of fun to play them. But anyway, that's quote unquote brief topic subject. But what I really wanted to dive into today, at the end, like you see up there, it says compassion, and I know lately around in this country, I didn't know if I wanted to address, as most of you know, there was a shooting lately, here in the United States, and there's been several, this entire year, excuse me, as well as years prior, here in the States, and I didn't know if I wanted to bring it up or to even talk about it, because a couple weeks, I think a week ago actually, when it kind of first happened, just everyone, once a tragedy happens or something happens that people don't like, or anything, whether that's a tragedy or just some political event or just something so minuscule and stupid with a celebrity, everybody blows up about it. And I feel like people don't address real life issues until something actually happens, and it's like reminds you, oh, this is a thing that's important, I should probably address that. And then it's just, social media just gets plastered with everyone who claims to be a professional, and everyone has to chime in with just unloading the crap of just everything, and just hate comments, and sides to get divided with people, and people just piss off other people for no reason, and it just becomes this whole downward spiral of just hatred and just venom that's just spewed all over the place. And I didn't want to see that, so I logged out of my Facebook for a couple days, and I just took some time to just be away from it, because sometimes it just gets really overbearing, especially if you're always busy in life, to go to somewhere just to see what everyone else is up to, or I don't know, watch something funny, or to communicate with your friends, and it's just nothing but just unloaded garbage and jargon of just hatred and venom, and everyone just claiming to know it all, and I can't do it. I'm not a fan of it. With that being said, recently I've logged back in, and gave myself some time to think about everything, and it's a terrible tragedy, first of all. So my heart, even though I don't know the people, is with me and those families. Is the heart of me is with those families, and everyone affected by it. But I feel like whether it's a shooting, or whether it's a tragedy, or a political issue, my problem is with people trying to discuss an issue, because everyone becomes so just nasty and hateful, and there's so many ways to get things done, or to give an opinion about something, or to state your claim, or what you think should be done, or your opinion on this, or this is what I think about this, or anything like that, to others in such a better way. There's a thing called social skills, first of all, and a much more respectful way of telling people your opinions, or just respectfully having a conversation with somebody else. It's like, hey, I think this, you think that, I respectfully disagree with you, but I understand your opinion and where you're at. Let's talk about it, and maybe we can reach a happy medium, or just a mutual understanding of why you think this way, or why I think this way. But that's, as most of you know, the internet isn't precedented on that, and it's just hatred. It's, I don't agree with this. Well, you're wrong because of blah, 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 or, I hate you, or I hate this because blah, blah, da, da, and it's terrible to just watch people, just speak like that to each other, and granted, are there issues or different things that, we can do better as people to either regulate stuff more, or to take more precautions to avoid tragedies like this? Granted, sometimes they still might happen even if we do, but are there precautions we can take and things we can do to try to minimize that, or try to at least, can contain it or to bring those numbers down. Definitely, yes, there's just things that we can do as people. However, I feel like when people try to convey these things across or try to say, oh, I'm against that, or some people just discuss different aspects but want the same thing, just get so caught up, and we might want the same things, but the way we go about it is different. So I hate you and you hate me, and we're just going to keep arguing and, whatever. And, the reason I say compassion is because people in general just need to be more respectful and more compassionate to each other. I get sometimes, the world does things or people do things that, spread positivity and love throughout the world every single day. And sometimes, people in mass do really nice things for other people and kind of forward our respect and our love and our mutual agreements for each other. But at the same time, there's just things that I see that just make me think, why? Like, why are you like this? Like, why do people got to be this way? For what reason do you have to just unload your hatred on somebody? What reason do you have to just spew your venom out at other people? What reason do you have to call somebody this or that or make somebody feel bad? It's like if you feel that low about yourself, or you don't have any time to do anything positive in your life, and so you just do something negative or just hurt somebody else just for yourself, like self-gratification, I'm sorry for anyone that's listening, but that's really fucked up. Like, you can't, like, you shouldn't do that, first of all, and it shouldn't be that way. There's ways of talking to people and having respect and agreements and love and, like I said, mutual agreements and respect for each other as people, because so what? People in the world are from different countries or believe different things or do things differently than you do. That doesn't mean you shouldn't respect that person. That doesn't mean, unless it's something really terrible, granted, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't respect that person. Doesn't mean you should treat them the way you want to be treated, because what happens is someone reciprocates somebody negative, well, you piss that person off, then that person reciprocates those feelings onto somebody else, and so on and so forth. And eventually it just has to stop. I feel like some people forget that, whether or not we're from different places, we all still live in the same place. Like, we all still live on this planet together. And I was just having this conversation with some friends of mine the other day that I feel like the world right now is stuck in this middle ground, because not so long ago, the world was going through different, issues at the time. And granted, we're still feeling the repercussions of those today. And, eventually those things will hopefully fade out into just a more mutual understanding and respect just for everybody in general, because everyone's the same. No one's better than anybody else. Everybody's a human. We all do different things, but, you open us up inside, we're all made up of the same things. And, I feel like right now we're in just a middle ground where it's like we're still coming off of things that are positive but yet hateful, and we're trying to fix those things. But it's like, if we just get more of the same garbage, we're going to continue that on and into our future. And, that needs to change. And, some people just don't get it. Some people just refuse to acknowledge, well, it's all about me. How can I get ahead? What can I do? How can I put someone else over? When it's just like, instead of putting somebody else over you, why don't you, aid that other person, or be like, hey, this is what I did, or hey, this is what I'm doing. How can I help you in what you're doing? Well, let's both try to get there together. Let's both try to be on the same level. Not, I'm gonna be the best. Put your face in the dirt. It's just about, like I said, having compassion for other people and being there for others. And like right now, there's obviously a tragedy that's fresh off the heels of this podcast, and there's people definitely spreading positivity and love for all those who have been affected. But then you just got those just terrible, just disgusting human beings who just want to just immediately jump on the bandwagon of, oh, it's fake, or, oh, why should we matter? These things happen every day and blah, blah, blah. like just shut up, just shut your mouth, which is stop, and you're disgusting, stop it. And I get that terrible things happen every day, everywhere, all around the world. That doesn't mean that you still can't show compassion for one terrible thing. That doesn't take away any precedence of the other things that have happened. Granted, all things that happen that are terrible are bad, but it's just like, have some compassion for things that are going on, and spread that positivity from one thing to the other, and hopefully try to bring a positive light to at least one thing or one human being, and change someone's life in a positive way, so hopefully that they can do the same. Which is why I say, compassion, it's just having respect for people, and just spreading love and peace, and just being happy. Every day you should try to smile and have a good day, and at least try to change someone's life in a positive way. You have no idea, you don't know. I just stuttered a lot on that last statement, but you don't know. Walking down the street, you could say just good morning, or smile at someone, or just giving someone a compliment, like, hey, how are you doing today, or hey, nice shoes, or something like that, can change a person's whole perspective or a whole attitude. Like, you don't know what that person's going through. You have no idea what their day's like. You're just walking past somebody on the street, or seeing someone in an Applebee's, but just because you're there in that moment with that person, sharing it with them, doesn't mean you know what they did, or where they're coming from beforehand. Same thing with you. And that's why, at the beginning of my podcast or my shows, or sometimes I would like I like to talk about things of just, hey, spread some positivity in the world, or hey, how are you guys doing today? Are you guys doing okay in all your endeavors? How's everyone doing today out there? Because I want you guys to know that whether there might be some people out there that I do know personally, or there might be some people that I don't know, I'm hoping that everyone is doing great, and all you guys are doing fantastic things, and I just want you guys to know that you have someone here, even though you might not know me, or you might, that believes in you guys, and believes that if you put your mind to anything, you can do it. And there is a respect. I do respect everyone that is listening to this, as well as everyone else in the world. And I do have compassion for you all. And I just want everybody, to know that, because there's no reason people in this world, granted, anyone doesn't deserve, some compassion, or at least should have positivity spread to them in hopes to change any negative aspects or things that they might be going through, to hopefully take that and push it in a positive light, and push it onto something that's, more positive, effective, and hopefully life-changing in a good way. Because I feel that if we keep going down this negative path, if people keep spiraling down this, then we're just kind of all lost. And I don't want the world to be in a state of just negativity, where nobody has any hope, or bad things happen and people just turn a blind eye, or like, whatever, there's another murder today. It's just terrible. I can't tell you how sad I get sometimes, and I just turn on the news and somebody else died for no reason whatsoever. And I get sometimes that's the way the world works, but hopefully spreading more positivity and respect to people will change that, and hopefully that changes your perspective for you too. So go out and smile at somebody today. Tell them you hope they're having a good day, even though you don't know them. It's like, hey, I'm proud of you. I hope you're doing great. But honestly though, try to be more positive. And sometimes I get it can be exhausting for some others, but be uplifting, be a positive person, believe in yourself, have confidence, and try to radiate that off yourself and onto other people. And hopefully, you can affect at least one person, because it might not seem a lot, but all it takes is a spark to light the flame, Also a Dark Souls reference. But all right, guys, that's going to be all the time that I have for today. Thank you so much for listening. I know I talked about several different things, but if there's anything ever you guys want me to talk about, anything you guys want me to address, or you guys know that I've talked about before that you want me to talk about deeper into, please feel free feel absolutely free just down in the comments to to tell me about it. What do you want me to hear? What things do you want me to elaborate more on? If you have an opinions or a voice, you want to express some things or anything, or tell me something, or just have a discussion, a respectful discussion with people down there, please absolutely feel free to do it. I'm all about tackling different topics here, and just talking about the things that I love, as well as the things that are going on in the world around me today. But all right, guys, I hope all of you have a wonderful day, wonderful night, wonderful morning, whenever you're listening to this. But I gotta go, so I will see you all in the next adventure. Thank you for joining me. Bye, guys.